Wind machine, where's my wind machine? Thanks, Jack. Okay.
It's a bit of a wind machine himself.
Yeah, really. I should be in municipal politics, you know? I should be in municipal politics.
Are we rolling? Okay, wicked, thanks.
We would really like to stamp out that preconceived idea that Canadian television and films are subpar.
Great Canadian drama, and without waving a Canadian flag, it's just well written, well acted, well shot, like Orphan Black and Rain and Heartland and Degrassi and Flashpoint. We're so proud of these because they don't have a beaver tail in them. They just are well written and well performed and could show anywhere, and we're so proud of that.
We love identifying and recognizing landmarks where we live, where we visited, where our people are from, our family, our friends. We love recognizing faces that we know or have seen in the past. We want to recognize more people's names. So it's not just good enough to see their faces and know that they were in that show. It's important that we know their name and that we identify them as Canadian performers. The other thing that we really love is when shows self-identify as Canadian through their text. So mentioning Toronto, mentioning various laws that differ from our neighbors to the south that we would recognize from our legal system. All those kinds of things make us feel seen and make us feel a part of each other's stories.
In particular with Flashpoint, what was so great about that was it wasn't a go in and shoot 'em up like the Americans do. It was a go in and talk about it, negotiate it, do it our way. What is our way of doing this? How do we put the filter on telling our story?
But we do think that we need some help in identifying Canadian programming because many people that we speak to who aren't in our industry say all the time, I want to support Canadian programming, I want to see it on TV.
Yeah, if they had known it was Canadian, then they would have wanted to watch it.
They would.
Yeah.
So we want to see that up front. We want to see something before.
So we'd like to see, and actually perhaps in listings of Canadian program, in magazines, on platforms, in media, websites, we'd like to know that a program actually is Canadian before an episode or anything runs, that the following program or feature is Canadian. More regulation. We want more regulation that way.
Every community needs to see themselves reflected in the television that they watch and the feature films that they go and see. Doesn't matter what sex you are, what age you are, what weight you are, you deserve to see yourself reflected.
I mean, just look at us sitting around the table. When was the last time you saw this on TV? Yeah, I think Canada needs to stop looking to America for the ideas to take risks, because if you look at what people are watching, they're watching BBC. That's what their shows are wildly popular.
And those aren't necessarily big budget.
No, and they're not big budget.
And I think the important thing too is scripted television.
Yes.
Because scripted television means we have Canadian writers telling Canadian stories based in Canadian locales using Canadian actors. So
they're pushing the name of the show, but you never see starring Tatiana Maslany, but the news is starring every time it's grabbed.
Who's this Peter Mansbridge?
They'll start talking about a program or a film they really liked, and you say, oh, by the way, did you know that was Canadian? Or that was directed by a Canadian, or that was a Canadian actor who was in it? And by and large, they didn't know that. And they are surprised to learn that that fabulous person actually is Canadian.
Yeah, and then I think the best part is once they start hearing those stories and recognizing their own voice, then they'll come up with a story that they'll feel they can get on. Because if everyone else is watching that story, maybe their story will be worth watching. And it becomes a snowball effect.
Yes. We don't like it when the credits roll too fast.
Slow down the credits, please.
And there's more to Canada than Hockey Night in Canada. I just want to say.
Although hockey's pretty good.
That's a very important
Yes,
thing.
that was 10 minutes of our discussion right there.
Age, size, female, male, young, old. CBC does one job.
I'd like to have all the channels. Agreed. All the channels, and I'd like Canadian content to be on all of them.